Okay.
We do have a lot of the cast and crew here. Now, we talked earlier, Sheila, about you introducing the cast and crew. Are you up for it?
I think so.
Okay, all right.
So,
Would the mic help?
yes, thank you.
Okay.
Well, first I'd like to call, a director always needs a producer. So I'd like to call it Polly Washburn. And in no particular order, but of all the same importance, Andrew Forbes, our cinematographer. Come on up. Yep. Lauren Martin, who designed the costumes. Mike Reisiger, editor. Cassie Brown, who played Sarah.
How's that? Is that good?
Darcy Fair, who played David. Kristen Harris, who played Beatrice. Ricardo Long, who did the production design. Jackson Burton, who represented our wonderful, wonderful supporting ensemble cast. Stefanik, who did the casting with me. Please come up. Have I got everybody?
No, I think this was the place to go. So.
And thank you so much for staying. Thank you so much.
Questions from the audience? If you have any question for anyone who had anything to do with the making of this film, now is your opportunity. Right there on the front row.
I want to know what your impetus was for the story.
The story is my childhood.
I kind of thought so.
The story is my childhood back in the early 60s. And, and one of the wonderful things about having this producer is that when she saw my script, she said, "You're the happy ending, and now you're ready to tell the story." And so all these people helped me tell the story. And yes, some parts are fictionalized, but I would say 90% is 1962 in Winnipeg. Yes, thank you.
Yes?
Sheila, beautiful job, congratulations.
Thank
I
you.
really loved it. I was transported back to 1962, and Ricardo, I have to say that not often you get a chance to actually thank the production designer, but you did a wonderful job. It really,
Absolutely. Yep.
Hi Sheila, it's just absolutely beautiful. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
I did have a question while watching. I wondered, did you venture into improvisation at all, or was it real tight to the script?
You know, we had fortunately, some rehearsal time with the script, and when we first were looking at people, and that helped me sort of do some finishing touches. But I would say that it's, well, the party scene, there's definitely improv for sure going on, and I was totally open to that because these actors really had become the characters for me. I mean, I still look at them and think, oh my God, that's my dad, that's my mom, that's me. But I would say 85, sorry to talk in percentages, but 85% of it, 90% is the real deal from what I wrote, and they just took it further when the shot was there. I mean, we were and this is where my team was so fantastic, because we wanted to capture the moments as truthfully as we could, and they really did that for me. Thank you.
Well, maybe while we have the actors here, you talked about a bit of a rehearsal process. Maybe we could ask each of the actors to talk a little bit about the rehearsal and then talk about the making of the film as well, and working with Shelagh. Pass the mic.
Shelagh was awesome.
I concur. Well, I guess we had a lot of rehearsal at the beginning during the auditions. There was an open call, and a lot of us got together while we were pairing each other up, and so we got a lot of time to kind of spend time together with the script, and then I think most of the rehearsal happened on set. We had 14 days, was it, to shoot the whole thing? And so a lot of 14. So we a lot of the rehearsal kind of happened, in the bedrooms in the house. Kristen and I and Cassidy probably spent a lot of time just talking behind the scenes and getting used to the environment. And Shelagh was very open to just allowing us to kind of find our characters and find the story together. So I think we're all really proud, and I'm getting emotional too, so I'm going to pass this on.
I think it's rare that you actually rehearse on the set. So that was an exceptional experience. And also what she hasn't, I don't think you've said, although maybe you did say it, but we shot maybe to go with the percentages, 75-80% chronologically.
Yeah.
So when you're an actor, that's a gift. You just can't. Yeah. The way that Shelagh set up the whole, from beginning to end, was the gift to the actors. So whatever rehearsal happened, when you call it rehearsal, I don't think it was rehearsal so much as it was just sitting in each other's presence and in the house. Because, the house was a character in the movie, and by the time we left the house, we were all extremely emotional because it was our house, and to the point where the man who owned the house, who some of us actually knew, he would come and we'd look at him like, what are you doing here? It's our house, so just hang out back.
Yeah. Other questions? There was one way in the back a few minutes ago. Yeah. Sure, we'll get, yeah.
Kristen, it was amazing to watch you, by the way. Well, everyone is amazing, but it seemed like such emotional, extremes that you had to deal with. Was there any, preparation, what preparation did you do to have, act those, and extremes you had to act with?
I think, thank you for your comment, and thank you for the question. I don't think I don't think there was a lot of time for prep, because I think that it went from casting to camera pretty quickly, right? Yeah, but we had workshopped it, not the entire cast, but me and Darcy, I think that's it, back in April, just by chance, and we never imagined that it would go. We sort of forgot about it. We workshopped it one night for a few hours. Not the same script per se or anything, but Sheila's, vision was starting at that point, so there wasn't a lot of, and so then we forgot about it, and then it came about that it was going into production, so there wasn't necessarily a lot of time to prepare, which kind of worried me, but I met with Shelagh, and that's all the preparation you need, is just, Shelagh sets the tone. It's hard to talk about her without gushing, as you can tell, for all of us, but she just sets the tone, and I guess not only the fact that it was her story, so it was always in the room with us, and you were always, her family and Sheilagh's emotions were always in the room, so that prepared us, and so all you have was all you had, all I felt that I had, no, not all I felt that I had, but the most of what I felt that I had was just being present to exactly that moment and what Shelagh was saying, and in between not every take, but certainly every scene, but sometimes the takes we would, you know, shoot something, and it was very long shots, as you can tell, and then we would go to the back bedroom and sit down on the bed, literally, where a lot of things, and then just be quiet and talk about it some more, and or not, and then just go back and shoot it again. So most of, I don't think there was so much prep as there was just locking into what she gave us on the day. Thank you.
Lots of questions. We'll go sort of in order.
Sheila, thank you so much. As a former Winnipegger, I certainly appreciate the just the essence of Winnipeg that you caught into. But I applaud your talent and I applaud your courage for tackling a very difficult subject. Now I'm getting emotional. What does your family think?
My brother's proud that I did it.
Sorry, did the people hear? Is everyone able to hear? Okay, good.
My brother's proud that I did it. My mom is gone, long gone. And my dad is 91 and suffering from dementia. Probably that's some of the reason why I can do it now, for sure. However, one of the reasons I did the film was I really feel that this subject is important in so many ways, universally. And in the end, my mom and dad reconciled. He stuck by her, and they had some happy years together. They were very grateful for that. And however, this illness, or whatever we want to call it, a psychosis or depression or whatever you want to call it, because labels are sort of, I don't know about labels. You just didn't talk about it back then. And that was tragic. And so, because I think people can change their lives and work hard and hopefully, I mean, it's, you know, it's a tough world out there, but I'm just really grateful that I had this moment in time to, and all the support I've had, right from the beginning, from cast, from the funders, remarkable. Just somehow, I don't know, want to tell the truth.
Yeah, I just want to say you're saying it was not talked about back then, but many people have come to us who were attracted to the project for one reason or another, whether it was we had private funders through our Indiegogo, we had people who came and worked on our set for way less than their usual fees, who it did touch an emotional chord for, or might be part of their personal story. So it is something that has attracted people to the project.
We were going to attempt to, there was a question. Yep.
Much less serious question. It sounds, I get the impression that it was a very quick, I'm sure it's never quick, it's your whole life, I realize, but the actual...
Wait, just a second. Joy Lowen is walking out the door there. She's our associate producer. She's running away.
Oh no, they don't like that.
That's why you guys are up there. I got the impression that it was very quick. You said that from the time that you got the part to when you actually went into production, it sounded like a very organic process. I would be interested in hearing about the process of, it sounded like even there wasn't the script when you were workshopping. What kind of process did you go through?
Well, the script actually had been in me for quite a while. And I worked on it, supported at the Film Center, and somehow, and I put it away for a while, but somehow when people started to say, okay, it just, okay, I got it out on paper. And then when we went through into production with Telefilm, they were right there with us, and they would turn things around as quickly as they could, and we would respond. And I have these great people. I have these people who read the script and got it. They got it, and that is essential. And in Winnipeg, that's just the kind of team we have there, you know. And so we had to figure out, though, very carefully, if we only had 14 days to shoot, you know, in a location, what kind of shots we were going to use. And Andrew and I went back and forth on that. And so it just, you know, it sounds kind of corny, but there was a lot of kismet But to be truthful too, I mean, you have to be organized, you have to be disciplined, and you have to be clear about what you want. And then you can get to the set, and you can let it all go, and answer any questions that come up in the moment. But it's really the key is preparation. And I'm grateful for our training.
It's Andrew?
Yeah.
Oh, we have Andrew, the director of photography here. It's just a beautiful film. And really, I would, and I'm sure the audience would also love to hear about, you just talked about prep and then going to set. If you just talk about the look of the film and what you guys discussed and how you carried that out, because it had a really amazing look and feel, and a lot of meaning was created through the shots. And if you could speak to that, it's not often get the DOPs here.
Oh my God, this is my first question ever, by the way. Thank you guys. Actually, I know it was really, the funniest thing was that when we were prepping, because I came into the project in, what, April? May? May? Sorry, hi, sorry. This is why I don't get asked anything. Yeah, so we got asked, I think I joined up in about April or May, and we were still trying to figure out what was going on. And actually the most useful bit of prep for me wasn't sitting down with the script or watching the rehearsals were huge, seeing the set, getting into the space beforehand, that was one of the best things we had, because we owned the house for 2 weeks. So we took Jeff and his, how old was his mother? And we moved him up into the attic kind of thing, and just got him out of the way kind of thing. And we literally just took over the entire house for 3 weeks.
They're not still up there, are they?
No, we let them, yeah, they were fantastic, but they were fabulous about it. But it was one of those things where it was so great, and I got a key to the house. And so I could just go over and hang out, and sort of look at the space and sort of see what we had and how to work around some of the things. I mean, there were time restrictions, budgetary restrictions, all those things, but I was trying to figure out the best way to see as much as we possibly could in the takes, knowing that the performance was the key. That was really, that was from the very beginning, that's what it was. And thematically speaking, and I hope I'm not telling tales out of school, I mean, we didn't actually talk a lot about the show in the beginning. We spent about 2 months having these 4 or 5 hour dinners and conversations and coffees and stuff, where we wouldn't talk about the job. We talk about ourselves, and and that was such a huge thing for me, to be able to get into Sheila's head a little bit and see where she was coming from with it, and that became the emphasis in everything that I did. Every decision that was made based on what would Sheila think, how would she work on it, that kind of thing. So, so a lot of the style came out of reference photos and things like that. Stuff that was sort of coming off of that. We built a huge Bible of look ideas and came in, and then Cassavetes obviously was a big one too, was sitting down and watching a couple films and taking those references and seeing what they did, and breaking away from the sort of the standard of because one of the big ones was the idea that we weren't going to cover traditional, we didn't cover the film traditionally. There's not a lot of close-ups. There's a lot of, part of it was time, but part of it was in the moment of the performance. Sometimes it's tough to replicate that, and we, with what we were getting and the style that we were getting from the actors and from the environment, the moment to moment, it's sort of like, well, you just have to take it and go, I think so.
This seems like a good segue to talk to the editor. When you shoot a film without coverage and without close-ups, maybe you could talk about.
Good luck.
Talk about that. But I thought it was also beautifully cut, the film.
Well, thank you. That was one of the challenges, that I was presented when I saw the footage and whatnot. But what was so nice about the footage is in the fact was that, like Sheila said, like everybody says, the performances were strong, and the intention of every scene was just like every frame was infused with the intent. So even though we may not have a close up to cutaway or a insert or whatnot, more times than not you would be able to hang on that shot and just have the confidence to know that it's going to push it through, and there's not going to be that it's not missing anything.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm sure there's lots of okay, we got a throw up fist at the very back there.
Two things. One, I'm not I can't remember if there was someone here in charge of the costume design. Great job.
Yeah.
And if you need anywhere to drop those clothes off, because the leading lady looked marvelous.
So
Just great job in general.
that wasn't really a question, that was more projection from the audience, but,
Like a pseudo.
and applause, thank you. Other, I think we
I
have,
have one more part.
oh,
Sorry.
okay.
This actually parallels the gentleman at the front. It's a question just about the family, just how it was possible for the actors to be able to portray your family, but also have a level of, respect, and just, I didn't know if it would be easy or difficult, or how you went about asking her questions about her family or her parents and her upbringing without, I don't know if there was like a line to cross, or if it was ever uncomfortable, you didn't want to show any disrespect or going too far, or anything
Boundaries.
like that. Like how that worked for you.
Right, well, I think she cast us because we had something that was familiar to her. And I don't think there was ever a time where we weren't connected on what we were trying to get across. So I didn't feel like I was disrespecting a family member. I think because of the time limit, we were really just worried about getting the scenes and about how connected we could be, because there was a lot of pressure to kind of, these are intense scenes most days. And I know that we started with maybe a couple of light scenes, but then we were into some heavy stuff. So really asking questions about family members, our commitment to the emotion of the film really, I don't think was conducive to, being sensitive to the characters necessarily. I don't know, Kristen might have something. Cassie.
Okay, thanks for representing, Darcy. That's good. How much more time? We haven't been told to wrap up, so we'll just keep going right there.
Yeah, I just of course, commend you all on an excellent job. It's not often we see Canadian cinema really shine the way this film did. And I have a question for you, Shelagh. I was really interested in the last frame of the film. And I'd like to know what that meant to you, or what you were trying to portray to yourself.
Boy, that last frame. Partly I think it's, maybe it's how I feel about film and cinema, about moments, and hoping that I'm being as truthful as I can. And also, back to you guys, because one thing I've learned over the years, when I started long ago as an actress, is that you have to trust your audience. So my thought was, okay, this is not something you wrap up. This is something that people will have their own thoughts about. And if I thought about this later, if I had just gone to blackout too soon, then maybe that wouldn't be serving what the story was about, or time to think about it without judging anything. And that push-in came in, again, working with this space. Somehow the space, every night before we would shoot, we knew what the scene was going to be, but we knew that something was going to happen, and we were open to it. And I love Dolly, I love movement, but we were hopefully not overboard with that. But anyway, that push-in to try and get close to her, but there's so much that's happened between, and then, I guess I could go, well, remember the opening scene, into the woods, and et cetera, but it's just, I hope I'm being clear.
That's good. You are.
Thank you.
We have time for one more question. No pressure.
But we'll stick around.
Oh.
I guess we have to leave or whatever.
Absolutely.
but
We'll have to get out of the
answer
theater
more
in
questions.
just a few minutes. And I'm sorry I've committed to the gentleman in the front row for the last question. No pressure.
Well, it's a very personal question. And again, it's this whole thing of how much can you ask?
Okay.
Which was asked earlier. How much can you ask of the director? how personal can you get? Are you going over lines?
I'm fine.
Let's try find that line.
What percentage, in your emotional reaction to this stuff that was going on, you depicted here, what percentage of your emotional reaction was repulsion as a 12-year-old?
Oh, when I was watching some of this?
Yeah. No, I mean, when you were
When I was a
there.
kid?
You can repeat the question, or...
Okay, so when I was a child, what was my...
Like, was there a lot of, how do you feel about this, for example, the sexual conduct stuff that was going on? Was your main emotion, was repulsion a big part of your emotion reaction?
I think I was confused. I mean, things were going on with me, and I was 11, and the world of adults seemed very, very exciting. And, for drama's sake, I've pushed it a little bit here on the screen, perhaps. But these are the, and I'm watching as a child, but also remembering back the things that I might have heard as an adult that happened, and piecing it together. Oh, that's what that meant. I think sometimes I was confused and I didn't really know. My mom wasn't particularly actually very forthcoming about things like that, really. You didn't talk about, menstruation and all that, you just didn't. So, and yet, she was this beautiful, free person, sort of caught between, what was about to come in the 60s. And also extremely desperate and sad, and motivated at times by things I don't even think she understood. She would often, when she would come back from the hospital, that shock treatment, they don't remember, really, what's going on. So, you're welcome.
Thank you for supporting Canadian film.
Yeah.
So thanks so much. Sorry I have to kick you all out, but the cast and crew will be there. Thanks to all of you for coming. Thanks for doing the Q&A. Have a good night. Thanks a lot.